Alright guys, welcome back. I believe this is part 6. I actually lost count of how many parts there were in this series. This is the large tool hoard that I picked up this June. So we're going to go through the last few items here. We're going to get through those probably fairly quickly. There's one item we'll probably look at a little bit longer, and then I'm going to give you a look at the item that I went back for, that when I saw and fell in love with the first time it went out, I had contemplated seriously making an offer on it, and we came to an agreement, and I think you guys are going to really like it. It's something special. If you love tools, you're going to love this. So let's get to the other stuff, though. So we're almost done with the initial buy as far as tools go. This is a Criterion boring head. He did not place much value on this because he had explained to me that there was some kind of a problem with this. So this is a DBL202. This is actually a very nice boring head. It's a good model, but there is something. Yeah, okay, so it's missing the guts. So we just kind of, that's why he just threw that in. So if we loosen up these set screws right here, we can manually, move this around, but it's really, it's I guess it would be good for parts for somebody, right? If you had a DBL202 and something else was broken on yours, but your internal parts were good, you could probably put the internals into this. The teeth do not look broken on here, so that'd probably be a good eBay item. Got some 1, 2, 3 blocks, and oddly enough, I have exactly 1, 2, 3 of them. Ha 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 ha. These look like, at least this one looks like it's brand new, never used. These are actually branded MHC. No, I'm sorry. These are branded Finn, Finn. So I don't know if that's a company or if that's somebody who made these. Look at that. Oh, a little bonus buy right there. It's another little part for an indicator kit by the looks of it. Huh. I've just been kind of putting these off to the side here, and their collection seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and I think there's going to be more in a moment, and I'll explain why. So anyways, more 1, 2, 3 blocks. So I'm definitely overstocked on 1, 2, 3 blocks. I think I'm going to have to start going through those, and of course you can never have too many, or well, actually I guess you can, but sometimes it's nice to have some really nice pristine ones, and then sometimes you want some that just aren't so great, and you tend to abuse those a little more than you should. And then there's also the different styles. I mean, a 1, 2, 3 block means, for those of you who don't know, means that it's exactly 1 inch by 2 inches by 3 inches. But some of them are solid blocks with no holes. Some of them have threaded holes and some not threaded holes. These are, the way these are made, they actually have larger holes going through on this side into threaded holes over here. So these, I think there are special fasteners that I may or may not have gotten with these. Stepped fasteners that actually fit in here. But anywho, so 3, 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then this. Oh, here they are. Actually, here's some. All right. Well, these are just regular cap screws, but he had these with these 1, 2, 3 blocks. I remember, so they're the correct size for that. And oh, look at that right there. You see what that is? Those 2 metal things right there. They look like bats. Those are for in a Kennedy toolbox. They hold the dividers in place. So when I first got there, amongst the things that I saw there, I saw this on the floor. He had a lot of stuff on the floor. And initially, I didn't think much of it, but I was thinking, you know, it's always nice to have extra parallels and whatnot. So I decided, when we were getting down to brass tacks, to have him throw this in. And he did. So this whole thing right here is filled with all different kinds of little parallels and packing. So I'm going to take a minute just to look through this real quick and see if there's anything really interesting. Because, like, for instance, I find it interesting that this is a Starrett box. So I'm wondering whether or not these are actually Starrett parallels. Yeah, these are Starrett number 384 parallels. They're both marked clearly. Starrett 384 on the ends. And on this end here, 1/4 inch by 1 inch. And that's the original box. I can't quite make out the number on the box because there's tape over it. No, I take that back. I can just peel this back far enough to make out that that's a 384. So these are not your these are not your average run-of-the-mill, hey, I made these in the shop and ground them parallels. These are nice. So let's see how many of these are no big deal and how many of these are truly treasures. All right, so I just went through these all real quick and looked at every single one of them. Apparently, a lot of these belong to a man named Stan Gordon, because a lot of these are marked with his name. And for instance, like this one right here, S. Gordon. You know, the spacing and the pattern of the holes indicate that he had a real specific use for these. You may never know what they were. So I went through all of here. This little one I pulled out because you see the notch right here. I remembered that the gentleman who I bought these tools from, he pulled one of these out somewhere else, I think, along the way, and mentioned to me that he had made these specifically. These are supposed to sit down between the jaws of the little grinding vise that I showed a couple episodes back. So I'm going to pull that out and keep that. I'll go put that with that little grinding vise because it probably fits on there perfectly. So the idea is that, you know, you put this down between the jaws and it'll straddle that middle part there so it won't fall out easily. So all of these here appear to be all shop made. But some of them are really nice, like this pair right here, for instance. They're in really great shape. I did find these two right here, again, clearly marked with his name. You wanted to make sure that whoever borrowed these gave them back. But these are, in fact, also L.S. Starrett. These are marked. These are also look like they're marked 384s. These are 3/8 by 3/4, number 384s. So I don't know what was supposed to be in this box originally. So those, I'm going to make sure we keep those in a special place because they're genuine Starrett parallels, so they have a premium price to them. This is just a precision ground piece of bar stock. And one other surprise, look what's on the end right here. These are vice jaws. I don't think I have any way of telling who made them, but judging from the spacing, I think they'll fit my Kurt vise. I don't know if they were genuine Kurt vice jaws, would they have to be marked in some way? You know, I mean, somebody could have just made these, right? Anyways, that's a nice little bonus there on the end. 2 items left. This one more. But let's talk about this one right now. Alright, so the outer cardboard box is ripped. So in the early days, I think height gauges were available with fancy wooden cases. So I actually thought this was unused, but he assured me that no, he did use this, but he was just really good about taking care of his tools. So every time he finished using it, we will put it back in its case. It's, well, for lack of a better term, we'll call this a case, right? So this next item is a 12-inch height gauge. It's a, to me, it looks like it's a knockoff of a Mitutoyo. It's an import, and this is sold through the MSC catalog. You can actually still buy this. This particular one is a 12-inch model. You can still buy this through the MSC catalog right now. It's about $270, and you've got the original box that it came with the foam shipping inserts, which is good because I'm going to be selling this, so I am going to be shipping it more than likely. Also, what's in the box is, in the other half of the foam insert here, there's a little operating instruction, double column height dial gauge. It's funny, they call this double column. Mitutoyo, I believe, refers to their design as a dual beam. They call these beams instead of columns. And they even make a triple beam model, which I think is just for the really tall ones. Although my Mitutoyo is pretty tall, and it's I think it's 24 inch, and it's just a dual beam. What's nice is not only is the clamp present, which when I got mine, it was missing this clamp, and I had to pay an exorbitant amount of money, I thought, for a replacement clamp. But what's also in here is a brand new, at least it looks like it's barely used, scriber, and it's a Mitutoyo scriber. It's a genuine Mitutoyo scriber, oddly enough, a 900-258. Now you can buy the Shars brand scribers at a greatly reduced price, but this scriber right here alone, I think is like $35. So, well, maybe even I think the Shars one is like 30, so it might even be more. I'm just curious. I'll look that up. Yeah. So the this scriber in MSC is currently selling for $58.37 for a new one of these. So this actually shows on the sticker here that this was calibrated back in 2016. Bottom of this is really nice condition, crystal clean. It's just in overall really nice condition. Works nice and smooth as it should. You can see the mechanical counters doing what they should. One's going up and one's going down. So it's really kind of a neat gauge. You know, this thing in Mitutoyo would be a lot more expensive. So for many people, this would be good enough. And you know, this guy was working in the industry. This wasn't something he was using in his home shop. So they obviously thought it was good enough. Oh, I forgot. I got one more item to show you that I bought at this estate when I bought all the tools initially. Before we go take a look at the big item I went back for myself. And that was actually after we had come to an agreement on a price for everything. Just piles and piles of stuff, which you guys have now watched. Hopefully you've seen all of the series and you've watched all 5 or 6 parts and have just seen what an incredible collection this was. And then on the way out, I spotted this drop indicator base, and we had already settled on a price. So I said, well, what do you want for the drop indicator base? Because I have more drop indicator bases than I need, but I like this one because it's got this granite stone here for a base, and it's solid thickness, looks like over 2 inches. And I can't find the maker's name anywhere on it, so I got a feeling it might be, you know, it might even be a Cheezomatic import. I have another one that has a very similar mount like this one, and that one has a name on it I had never heard of. And I think when I ended up looking that one up online, I found out that it was made in India. Anywho, he said $20, so I decided to pop on that for $20. I don't even don't even need it, but you know. And the thing is, you know, because of the weight, it's not really cost effective for me to ship it. I mean, I could put it probably in a large flat rate box. It'd be kind of iffy. But it's so heavy, it would really want to shift around in there and probably damage itself in shipping. So, anyways, so I got I got another one to add to the collection of many. All right, you guys have probably been pretty patient up until this point, I hope to think. So, guys, here it is. It's a Gerstner, my very first Gerstner, and probably going to be my last. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to maybe even hand this down to one of my kids someday, because this truly is an heirloom. I've heard of heirloom pieces of furniture. This is an heirloom toolbox, meaning it really should be handed down from generation to generation. This box was handcrafted right in Ohio, in the good old US of A, where they're still making boxes to this day. This box, the condition is fantastic, and it was actually, when I first saw this box, I actually thought it was an import, because you can buy through, I think, Grizzly and some of the other online catalogs, you can buy import versions of these oak machinist chests, and the quality is just nowhere near what you're getting with a Gerstner, but the price is so much lower that they're starting to, you know, they're starting to become popular. But this is the real deal. So let's tighten up the shot here, and I'll show you a couple of things. This is a very temporary setup here. I just have it here until I move out. One of my 11 draw Kennedys, I guess, is probably gonna go up for sale, because it's gonna have to give up its spot for this Gerstner and original matching riser. So I've got all the keys for this. He had all the keys. Right now I happen to have it unlocked. There's a couple of things that are interesting about this Gerstner that I've never seen on any of the other Gerstners that I've seen. The felt is pristine on the inside. It's just in incredibly good shape. The first thing I want to show you about this Gerstner that's unique, I think it's unique, because a lot of the other Gerstners I've seen are kind of like the Kennedys, where this panel just comes off and you run the risk of it accidentally falling off. This has got hardware, integral hardware, that actually keeps this from being able to fall down. Got to be real finicky with this thing. You know, one of the reasons why I've shunned Gerstner toolboxes, reason number one, they were always out of my price range. Reason number two, I always felt they were too pretty to have in a workshop like mine down here in a dingy basement where the humidity level gets a little too high. So we're starting to come into the summer months here, so I'm going to be running my dehumidifier 24/7 down here just because of this box now. I thought about maybe keeping this in my office, but I couldn't think of enough things to put in it to warrant tying up this kind of capital in this box. I don't want to say what I paid for this box. Let's just suffice to say it was north of $500, which is still, and less than $1,000, which is still a hell of a deal for this box. Because now that I've opened it up, some of you who know Gerstner boxes may have noticed something very unusual about this box. Notice there's no center drawer for the machinery handbook. Instead, what they did on this model, which I believe is called the Model 62, was they decided to put two flanking drawers, which could be used either for the machinery handbook, but they also, I think, made mention in the literature about using it as a drill or a reamer type draw. So I think you might even be able to put like maybe an index in here. And that's like the integral hardware that keeps this from falling out, which also is echoed in the riser. And the unusual draws here and the draw count. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 draws. This is a 13 draw Gerstner. The typical large Gerstner you see is an 11 draw model with the center machinery handbook draw here and flanked. normally. So this is a really big one, and this is an oak, and I believe they also offered this in mahogany or cherry, I think. I forget. So this would be a 62O, the O denoting oak. When I went back to pick up the box on the first trip, a lot of the stuff that I had bought from him, I had pulled out of these drawers, or was already on the floor and he had pulled them out. When I went back and picked up the box, I noticed there was still a little bit of stuff in here, and he said that he's just throwing that in because I'm buying the box. So I actually got even a few more little goodies in here. We'll try and go through those. So, but let's get back to the box. So this has got this this emblem here, which a true aficionado could probably date this box from that. I'll just get a tight shot on that. So he told me that he bought this box and the riser brand new when he got into the trade and started making some money. And I think he said that was over 30 years ago. And again, you know, maybe somebody could tell me, based on this, whether or not, you know, that jives. So another thing about this box that was really kind of neat, I read in the literature, when I first saw this, okay, kind of a sneak peek at some of the stuff that he gave me. Okay, notice inside this drawer there's these fluted metal ridges here, like a little things. These are actually stock. That's how these drawers were made, specifically for keeping things like this from just being able to roll around on each other. So I actually thought that somebody made this insert and stuck it in here, but that's actually a Gerstner part that this box came with. So I think while we got the box open, let's just go through this real quick and see what little extras he threw in. I got a foam case for one of the probably several indicators that I bought. So that'll come in handy if I end up selling a drop indicator and I want to ship it. Also what's in here is this nice tool chest from H. Gerstner & Sons, master cabinet makers since 1906. This one on the cover here is the Style 82, which had a large drawer or cabinet door that opened over here and two small drawers here. Mine, I love saying that, mine. Yes, it's now mine. There's mine right there, the 62. So this is what it says. It says, 2 vertical drawers for handbook and drill block are a special feature of the Style 62 tool chest. 2 fluted trays are provided for rollable tools, each holding 20 tools. 3 finished wood dividers with bullet catches on each end are easy to fit into top 10 drawers for grouping of medium-sized tools. 3 finished wood dividers with bullet catches on each end, easy to fit into top 10 drawers for grouping of medium-sized tools. So that's these. So I'm not quite sure what they're saying here. No, that's lost on me. I'm not quite sure what they're talking about. Alright, I'm not going to worry about that right now. The Hanta Operator's Handbook. Speed and feed recommendations for roughing end mills. Alright, a little booklet. Somebody's business card. I don't know what these are. Little plastic things. Actually, it says right on it. Oh, this is AO Safety. These are, oh, you know what these are? These are corner guards. These are the side shields. The side shields for your safety glasses. Here's another one of these things he made. Alright, now this one looks like it might fit my mill. That looks like it might be 1 7/8. So this would clamp on the spindle. Yeah, no, I'm still not quite getting how you do all this. Alright. This is interesting. This is paperwork from the bank. Interesting. This is the gentleman who I bought the box from. This appears to be a loan taken out in the 90s. I wonder if this could be for this box. No, it couldn't be that much. Wow! Current interest rate, 9%. Well, you know what? That's a personal loan, though. So, maybe that's not that unusual. I mean, they're gooning us on our credit cards much worse right now. This is a little pouch for what looks to be a small vernier. 2 keys. These are Red 1 vinyl medium tip replacement tips. These look like, oh, okay, these are for like on a Lixie hammer or something like that. Red and green. I don't know if these are generic or what. Nothing wrong with that. And the only other thing up here is there's this container of Hi Something and Sons Master Cabinet Makers Finish Reserver. Something scratches and scuffs, cleans and conditions the hand-rubbed finish. That's interesting. I wonder if that's something that was actually recommended by Gerstner for their boxes. Weld-on style countersinks. Regular countersink. Other countersink. Oh, these are all countersinks. These look brand new. This drawer is pretty much empty except for whatever's in this. Wow, that's a long drill bit. Titex parabolic drill, number 40. Huh. 2 discs of glass marked safety glass. Scratch that, make it 3. Matter of fact, let's not scratch that. We'll put the foam back between them. What do we got here? $1.39 somebody paid for this little cosmetic mirror. Probably for looking at the indicator when it's around the back side on the spindle or something, I bet. That's all that's in that drawer. This, I'm not going to go through it all. These are all reamers. And I already looked at a lot of these are either new or very light use. A whole bunch of them. And a little deburring tool. This is from the Umpco Incorporated. Burr something. I don't know. Doesn't go in sideways, moron. Give you guys a little bit better look as I pull these out. Alright, there's a nice little indicator rod, some various clamps. Hey! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I know what this is. How good's your memory, guys? And who's watched all of these videos? Who knows what that belongs to? That belongs to that unusual Fowler, I think it was a Fowler magnetic indicator base set that had all those various pieces, and I said there was something that looked like this missing. That's where that came from. A couple little split bushings. A lowly Minatorio 1-inch gauge block, but I'll tell you what, it's mint. And there's a couple little tiny gauge blocks in here. They were really rung together. Wow. I do not see the size on them. I don't know what the hell that is. A couple of those, whatever they are. Well, that's tiny. Metric needs. It's a metric something. It's a metric 1.6 tap. 1.6 millimeter. A little box of stones, but more importantly, look at the box that these stones are sitting in. This is a box for a toolmaker's vise. Brown and Sharp toolmaker's vise. Unfortunately, I don't think I got that. I don't remember seeing that in all the stuff we went through. Here's a nice indicator arm and just various little indicator pieces all stuck together in this little tube. Now a top left drawer. Hey, another pocket chum. A few little screwdrivers. Look at those little center drills. Boy, those are tiny ones. What are the odds that this still works? Well, either the battery's dead in this or I don't know how to turn it on. Could be either one, quite frankly. Nope. The battery is dying. That actually still works. Here's that other fluted drawer. And what we got is we got a bunch of dowel pins, gauge pins up the wazoo. Some really tiny drill bits are in here. We get a Canadian coin. But again, I'm more interested actually in what this box is for. And it doesn't say, so I don't know if that's even a valid number on there that we could look up and see if that's anything that I have that doesn't have a box. Okay, more just minutia. Ooh, nice little boring bar. And another one in the container there. Oh, all right, so we got a little bit of nice stuff here. Oh, these drill bits. Look at these drill bits. They're all long, extra long ones. That's nice. Look at that, a whole tube of them. Look at that. Oh man, I'm loving this. Well, I'll tell you what, this draw, by the looks of it, is predominantly carbide. I can tell by the weight that that little end mill right there is solid carbide. And some of them look like they were sharpened and still have the goop on them from when they come back from being sharpened. Or when you take them out of the package, I guess that's possible too. Yeah, that's solid carbide. Oh my. Small ones. I mean, holy crap, look at that thing. Look at that thing. Can you guys even see that thing in there? That's a 1/16 by 1/8 by 3/16. Hey, look. Oh, fishtail, another one. And this one is, well, that's interesting. This is the American Caliper Company of Rockford, Illinois, USA. I've never seen a fishtail with that name on it. An indicator back. Indicator points, long ones. Oh, look, I think I know what this goes to. This is a Mitutoyo indicator that he had, I think he had attempted to fix, so he took it apart and then he gave up on it, and then he just threw all the pieces and that in here. So that's going to be pretty much junk. It's a good parts indicator for somebody who might be fixing another one or something. That's about it. Sharpening stone, Norton. Sharpening stone, Norton. Tiny little drill index. Shanghai, China. That must be quality. It's actually empty. Because all the little cheap Chinese drill bits probably snapped. Oh, 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 this is looking good. I like what I'm seeing here. See this? Huh? Who recognizes that? That and that right there are, I believe, the missing pieces on that clamp that I have, the V-block. Remember, I had the V-block, but then I had a clamp, a separate clamp with the box, and then an extra V-block frame, a clamp frame, but we're missing these key pieces here. So we'll be able to put all that back together. Over here in the corner, let's tilt down here, this is just all micrometer wrenches and some minutia. There's a wiggler, and there's another part to that wiggler. I don't remember what that is. Looks familiar to me. I don't know. Well, whatever it is, there's another one there. Can you guys see that? What the heck this is? This looks vaguely familiar to me. Got a hole in the end. I don't know. Geez, I thought those other center drills were small. Look at these. Tiny. This is just, this is what's on the other side of this drawer. I'm just bringing it over here so I don't have to reposition the camera. Another Starrett box top for... Oh, okay, this is another pin vise box cover. And what we got in here is a bunch of center drills. And
1, 2, what do we got here? Alright. How's that?
appears to be a no-name edge finder, a general tool, general hardware edge finder, a Starrett edge finder, and a tap follower. Might be the same brand as the one I just sold that I had found a brand new one. So that one, I'll probably keep that one because my other tap finder that I use, my other tap follower that I use that I like is this one right here. I just happen to have it handy. But you see it's much bigger. So, well, somewhat bigger. So I'll probably keep that one. Some little threaded studs. Center drill. More center drills. A handle that he put a deburring tool on there. Or is that how that was? Maybe that was made that way. I don't know. That's just for deburring a hole. We'll get something big here. What's this? Oh, key seat cutter. I'll have to check. If I don't have that size, I'll probably keep that one for myself. I wonder if that's what belongs in this box, because it sure as hell is tight. Yeah, that's not what belongs in here. This is supposed to be for a saw arbor, which I think I have. I think I got that in the first haul. These are just little screwdriver bits. That looks like, I don't know what that is. That looks like maybe somebody made a collet stop for a small collet. I don't know what these little wires in this tube are. Here's a just a gaggle of miscellaneous hardware unexplained. Here's more of that cut up pieces of that metal strapping that he likes to use for whatnot. Look at this. Ooh, I wonder how bad these punches are. Some of these actually look like they're in decent shape. I'm not going to bother taking them out now. Good possibility to stare it. They're either Starrett or they're general hardware. And we got some springs. Geometrics 2, a pocket guide. Car lane handy multipliers and trigonometry tables for engineers. I think I've already got that book. And that concludes the top box. So the risers, on the used market, Gerstner risers command really good money because oftentimes people didn't want to spend. They were spending so much money on the top boxes. Sometimes they didn't want to spend the extra money for a riser, or they figured they didn't need a riser, or that it just wasn't worth the extra money. So when you find one with a matching riser like this, it's really a nice bonus. So this one has 3 draws on the top and 1 big draw on the bottom. So this draw is empty. This draw has a couple of pieces of just random wood in it, and crystalline stone for tungsten carbide. Interesting. That might be nice for putting a little hone on a carbide piece. And you guys can't see what I'm doing over here, so I'll just pull this out over here. I get a little keychain. I love you. That's nice. These look like very small drill bits, maybe. Oh, I think these are all little tiny burrs, I think he told me. These are circuit board drills, carbide, 130 degree point, wire size number 62. So that's for drilling the holes in a circuit board so the legs of the components can poke through. And then this is a little metal removal kit there. It's a little burr kit. I think these are carbide. I don't remember. There's actually some other ones in there too. Cleveland Twist Drill Company. Can't read it, but those are really small drills in there. That's going to take some sorting. And the final drawer. Cotton tipped applicators. Those are always handy to have. Automatic center punch missing the tip. General Hardware brand. This appears to be a T-handled. What do you call that kind of reamer that comes to a point? It's not a bridge reamer, is it? I don't remember. Yeah. Don't know what's in there. It's 1/8 inch, whatever it is. Oh! Brand new arbor. This is probably for one of those Jacobs chucks that Albrecht chucks that I got from him. Because we couldn't find any arbors. We found 2 arbors, but they were way too small for those chucks. So this is probably one of the chucks for that. I mean, one of the arbors for that. Here's just the thing with some miscellaneous stuff in it. Okay. Let's see what this big honking thing is. This is a 1 1/8 inch S&D drill, rounded shank. Oh, this is a whole bunch of stub drill bits. This whole thing's full of them. Wow. Boy, when I start subtracting out the value that's here and all these extra drill bits and cutters and everything from what I paid for the box, it just makes this box an incredibly sweet deal. Oh, that's a monster there, huh? It's a double-ended 2 flute. It's got some kind of coating on it. What is that? Cobalt? Double end mill, B3229. This is 29/32 diameter, 1 inch shank, 2 flute. The Melin, M-E-L-I-N, Tool Company, Incorporated of Cleveland, Ohio. Tool can shatter when broken. I don't know what the formulation is on that. I just wanted to get this out, show you this. In the bottom here, here's a little card, stop track feature. The Gerstner chest features the new stop track system for draw removal, open draw to stop position, grasp draw sides with both hands, pull draw gently past spring loaded stops, holding thumbs. I think this is for a base cabinet. What if he had the original base cabinet for this thing? And this paperwork here, would you like to have your Gerstner chest personalized? So you could actually pay extra and have this plaque put on here. You know what would be awesome would be if the original receipt was in here with the price, but no. Gerstner chests. All the ordering information, but nothing on here for pricing, so no way to know. Oh, there's prices for replacement parts here. Tool chest and accessories. Look at that one. $250 for that one. I think maybe this might have a. This might be a little bit older. Oh, my shoulders are killing me. I don't know why. All right, guys. So that actually brings that to a close. So I'm gonna wrap things up now. So we'll call this episode a wrap right here, but I'm going to have one more episode to follow up on this because after I went there and picked this up, while I was there, I went through boxes and stuff on the floor of cutters, drills, and all kinds of things and other goodies, and put together another pile, and I bought $80 more worth of miscellaneous stuff, and I think I got quite more than $80 worth, but you know, I got such a good deal on this. I felt like spending a little bit more money and helping him because his house is under contract. He's moving. So, anyways, so this is my new thing I wanted to show you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy watching these kind of videos. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. Take care.